I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jim, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, as our mayor and village council come together this evening, and with the intent of doing good work for all the people they serve, as they seek to represent fairly and well those who have given them this task, as you have called them into this task, may their effort be blessed with insight, guided by understanding and wisdom. And as they seek to serve those with respect to all people, may their personal faith give them strength and knowledge to act honestly and well in all matters before them. We ask you to bless our firefighters and our police officers as they carry out their duties wherever they are called upon. We ask you that you be with us as we continue to raise up the Harrison family, as we pray to you for their comfort and peace. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll start off tonight with,
We do a roll call?
oh, yeah, well, no, we want to do a roll call after
Okay.
we swear Joyce in.
Okay.
Do I have to stand up and talk?
You know, you didn't stand up and raise your hand, or just raise your hand or
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
Okay, you repeat after me for your oath of office, okay? I
I, Joyce Harrison,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state
and the ordinances
and the ordinances
of the municipal corporation,
of the municipal corporation,
that I will not be influenced
that I will not be influenced
by any consideration
by any consideration
except that of merit
except that of merit
and fitness
and fitness
in the appointment
and the appointment
or discharge of employees,
or discharge of employees,
that I will not make
that I will not make
or authorize
or authorize
the expenditure of public money
the expenditure of public money
otherwise than for adequate consideration
otherwise than for adequate consideration.
and efficient service
Efficient service
to the municipal corporation,
to the municipal corporation,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
impartially,
impartially,
in all other respects,
in all other respects,
discharge my duties as
discharge my duties as
councilperson
councilperson
during my continuance
during my continuance
therein.
therein.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank
How many years been doing this now?
you.
16. Gary?
96.
May want to let them know that I already swore you in.
Yeah, I have already been sworn in, Rick swore me in on the 31st
He says you need to.
December. Okay, now we can do roll call.
Scott,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Stan,
Yes.
Steve, Bill,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have discussion and approval of the minutes. Everybody had a chance to read them? We'll go with December 1st, council meeting first.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the December 1st meeting.
I'll second it.
Joyce,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Stan,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Okay, the next one will be for our special meeting on December 15th, 2015.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes. I'll second it.
Scott,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Stan,
Yes.
Bill.
Abstain.
That's right, you weren't here, were you? Good work.
Okay,
Maybe I do have a question about the December 1st meeting. Didn't we go into executive session at the end of the December 1st meeting? And I don't believe that's listed on here.
No,
We
there
didn't?
was a meeting before.
Was that the one before?
Yeah, it's that one here.
Yeah,
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 November.
yeah. Yeah.
That's right. Okay,
Actually, no, it's right on the third page. So I made the motion to enter it.
Yeah, the
Amended at
15th, the fifth, or the
first.
first, the first
The
meeting,
first.
yeah, yeah,
And.
oh, yeah, right there it
It's
is.
on the
yeah,
third
yeah,
page.
yeah,
Right.
That was November, it was
yeah,
December
yeah,
first.
December first, yeah.
Okay,
Yes, that's what.
discussion and approval of the financial report. You want-
Yeah, I'll do this one in a second. Okay. Looks like got the bank reconciliation, we have $1,600,455.50.
We didn't spend it all yet.
Yeah, that's a mince in all, but we still got a lot of debt to take care of though. And then we had, total written checks for $103,393.02.
Any questions or discussion on that? If not, we need approval of the financial report.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial report.
I'll second.
Sign this then.
Joyce,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Stan,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Okay, no special bills. Have any public comment tonight?
Yeah, first of all, where are the minutes from December 15th meeting?
They're right here.
Okay. I'd like to have that. Also, I have here, this is from you, Bonnie. Gary. Okay, if you leaf through there, you see it's water ordinance, sewer ordinance. You had given to my husband, that he requested. What I wanna know is the two ordinance, the sewer and the water, is that the entire, is that everything? The amendments, everything, to the water and the sewer ordinance. Is everything there?
They're the latest up-to-date ones. I mean, I'm sure there's
There's all
some
amendments
way
there?
before that, huh?
Are all the amendments or anything there to the water and the sewer ordinance?
I don't know what you're getting at, but,
Yeah. We want, what do you want?
Yeah,
Well,
what
you
number
told
is
me,
it?
yeah, I'm not talking to you, Joyce,
Uh,
I'm
Have
talking
the
I
to
know.
Gary.
initial ordinance, you would probably start from the initial ordinance in the beginning
yeah,
of the system.
are you saying you want all the ordinances from the day one? That would, any of them that superseded, and all right down the line, you want every one of them?
What I would like is it in entirely, like from day one, when you started the water rate ordinance with the ordinance number 2008-01, where you have the same number on the sewer. I wanna know if everything's there.
What year did the sewer start?
You know, when you request the ordinance, you know, everything should be there that you gave us.
If you want we give you what's in effect now. I mean, what do you want? Do you want them from day one all the way through? Is that what you're asking
That's what we wanted,
for?
yeah, in the whole beginning. We want the ordinance for the water, the ordinance for the sewer.
Okay, you want every piece of paper on that? Is that what you're saying?
That you have, yeah, that you have for your ordinance for, prices, fees, things like that. You know, like on here with the sewer, which this is not up to date, you have, which you increased by 3%, but this is an old reading. This is readings now it says return checks, they crossed it out and write in 40. You know, everything should be up to par that you gave us.
Okay, well, the only thing we can do is go back through and get every piece of paper that's on there, and it's gonna take some time, but I mean, from day one right up through every one that superseded each other and right on.
Yeah, so there's other
Is
amendments
that what,
that
is
go
that's
in.
what you want, so we're clear.
So, yeah, so
Okay.
there are other amendments that go to it.
Well, I'm sure there's other amendments that go to it.
Okay, that's what I want.
Okay,
And once I get them, then I will finish asking my question to the amendments. I want all of them.
okay, it's your right.
I'll tell her how much it's gonna cost.
Okay,
Thank you.
anybody else have any comment?
I need to know, if I can get the policy for the credit cards, policy.
Yeah, you can request any of that stuff.
Okay. I need that. And also too, I need the W-2s for Dave Clark and John.
Those have already been provided to you.
No, I want last year's, 2015's the one you're just
Well,
gonna
they
do.
haven't, they haven't been,
They're not
haven't been
done
done yet.
Well, when they're done, I'm just giving you a heads up that I want that, okay? Then also too, on the credit cards, according to the law book, I'd like to have all the bills for the credit cards
For how long?
for the last year. Every month, 12 months, you guys get a statement for your credit cards, how to pay them, right?
Sure.
I wanna see that. And how many people have credit cards?
You were told there were 5.
So you want 2015's
Credit
credit card statements?
statements.
For whoever
from the
has,
bank.
we heard there were 5 people that have credit cards.
And also, I'd like to know
I
who
mean,
they are.
who, you heard this, you heard it out in public? All you have to do is come and ask us, we can tell you how many.
Well, that's what I'm asking. So,
Okay.
so you know what I'm going, you know, wanna know who has them and the reason why.
Reason why,
Yeah,
so they're department heads and they can,
they're
Buy
department
stuff.
heads. So just the department heads have them?
Yes.
yeah,
Okay, I wanna know who they are.
It'll be on the credit card statement.
yeah.
Okay. Then also too, in the, you guys go to executive sessions. I'd like to know next time you guys do a executive session, the reason for,
We always state that, every time we go into executive
and who's,
session.
who's
It's for, huh?
Because this here's got a little statement in here for the credit card, or I mean for, executive session, when you can go into executive session, and for what reason, you know?
Yeah, and we always give the reason that we're going in.
All right, that's
If you,
it.
if you listen to it, why, we always have a reason to go into
It's in
it.
the minutes, so it's
Yeah.
not like we're hiding anything, so.
Okay. Okay, you got everything wrote down? Angela?
Yep.
Okay.
It's recorded too. so-
Anybody else, other than?
Just didn't we used to keep the ordinances in the public access points such as the library?
We're going back to it again, because that's what she asked for, so we'll be putting the book together.
Can you guys put a copy up there? in
At the library, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, if not, we'll carry on, and reports from committees, finance, budget, audit, Scott?
Like I said, we already give you the information on the checks written and the, amount we have left. $1,600,000. Looks like we we're doing fairly good, we still have money in most of the accounts, so that's a good thing, so we're not in debt, so. So I feel pretty confident that we're fairly good in the majority of the accounts. I guess the question, I do wanna bring up there, on the finance and the park next year, how we're gonna do this, 'cause I'm a little concerned about not having that tax revenue, because there was concern with the, how
Yeah,
the,
bring that up.
so we wanna kinda talk about all that stuff, because that's gonna affect the budget for next year too, and how we're gonna handle those things, so.
Okay, anybody got any questions for Scott? If not, Police, Brennan?
Not much to report on the road. Melissa participated in the Christmas with the Cop through the Tiffin FOP. And then myself and Melissa adopted a family here in Bettsville, and we went and delivered gifts to 2 little girls on the 23rd, myself and her. Performance evaluations for the past 6 months, they're done every 6 months, have been completed, and the officers have those, and if they've had any issues, we've talked about it. In reference to the full-time position, we have 10 applicants so far. It's considered closed at this point, the application process, but of course, we'll still take them. So I'll be going through, doing background checks, getting an interview panel around, and then conducting those interviews and determining who would be the best fit. I think even if some of them don't make the cut for the full-time, I think some of them would be very good part-time officers as well. So I think we have a good pool to pull from, and hopefully we'll get that done here the next month or two and get that ball rolling. So other than that, I have nothing else.
Okay, Steve's not here, but I'll get the fire report. Okay, so they had 7 calls for the month, yearly total is 106 calls. And it says, I am pleased to announce that the ISO rating has come back and it has improved for the village and fire district. We were at 6/9 and now the rating is 5/5Y. These new ratings will go into effect April 1st, 2016. And once they go in, and you should get with your insurance companies and stuff, because they could give you a better rate. So we're going in the right direction there.
They go into effect when?
April 1st.
April 1st.
And the reason being, I mean, they passed, that they know that that's what it's gonna be, but by the time you get all the paperwork done and everything,
Yeah.
that's why it will be April 1st, so they can do that.
I wonder if, that could be something we could put on the official website to let people know that they should contact their insurance company.
We will,
And
anytime,
maybe the detail, what the 6/9 means compared to the 5/5, because I
because the
really.
lower the rating is, the better the rating is,
Okay.
so. It's pretty good.
I haven't looked recently at the site. Brandon, you said you had somebody working on it, or they making some progress, or?
Yes, we do have the new site is up. It's not.
Oh, it is?
It's not launched as, if you type in the webpage, it's not gonna show up yet. We're still
Right.
building it, but it's on the web, but the address isn't out there yet.
Yeah, I saw that it was like being created or
Yeah,
something, or.
So, still in the process, still waiting. I haven't received any pictures or anything like that from anyone, so. But we'll keep on going with it, and if we don't get what we need, then we'll just launch it and then add to it as we go.
Are we paying anything to do that?
Just the update for the hosting, but we're not paying anyone to
To
build it.
do it?
Correct.
Brandon, do you have the phone number, the new phone number for, like, when you call this number, you get the policeman?
You just call the regular number and it forwards to the cell phone.
Okay,
Okay.
When did that start, Brandon?
What's that?
If you call the Betsville Police, it goes right to the,
It's been about, what, a month or so? If you
What,
call the regular
November?
number, it'll forward to the cell phone.
November?
Yeah, but it was-
Probably November.
If they're on duty.
Right, if someone's on, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't carry it with me, it's left in the office, and then when an officer's on duty, then they'll have it in the cruiser with them, so they can be reached
Right.
and whatnot.
Does it ever then forward to the sheriff's department, or?
No, it doesn't re-forward, but it says right in the message, if no one answers, to make sure to call the sheriff's office, so.
So if I call and it forwards to the cell, neither one answer, can I leave a message?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, yep,
And then, if need be, call the sheriff's department?
correct.
What if you don't ever get a return?
Then I would, let me know.
I've left messages twice and never got returned.
When were those?
It's in October. Left 2 messages to return my call, and never got a call back.
Maybe they got deleted or something in the mix, but I didn't receive them, so. I'm not saying it didn't happen, I'm just saying it must have got deleted somewhere in between. So, that's the hard part with so many people going in and out, and we only have one voicemail for everyone. Makes it difficult. If somebody doesn't, they accidentally clear it, or don't let whoever the message is for know.
I mean, if somebody's on duty, because when I called the sheriff, I told him, I said, I had to call you because they won't call me back.
Okay.
And they said, well, just call there. You know, so if somebody's on duty, I'd rather somebody.
If they are, correct, but recently we haven't, because we have an officer who is off on medical right now, so we
This is
haven't.
in October.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Brandon, is it one physical cell phone that you just share, whoever's on duty physically takes control of that phone while they're on duty?
Correct, as soon as they come on duty, that cell phone's on the desk, should be charged, and they will take it in the cruiser with them, so that if you do call the office, and obviously no one's in there because they're on patrol, it'll then be forwarded, and they can
Okay,
get right on.
and then when they're off duty, they leave it there and the next
Correct.
person on duty picks it, okay.
Correct.
Okay, cleaning up, Joyce?
I don't have anything.
Nothing? Okay, John, water, sewer street.
Don't have anything for water. Sewer, we're still working on a price for a new panel for the lift station on 590. We're still having issues with that, so hopefully we'll have something for next meeting on that. Got the salt spreader on the truck, and it works awesome. I only use half the amount of salt with that spreader that I did with the other one, because there was no way to control the auger and the spinner independently on the other one, so. The guy that I worked with for the utility truck that I have now over at Tiffin Ford is working on a quote for a dump truck. So, through a state bid program, so we'll see what they come back with. But that's all I have, nothing
What
really.
kind of a panel are they, what kind of a panel?
Electrical panel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next, we'll hit on the park somewhat. I got notified from Julie Atkins, our county auditor, that the $14,284 that we were supposed to get for the next 2 years for the park, for that levy, as they said they was gonna let it run out, they said no more. We get not one penny for the park now. So, it's not gonna be good.
Was that a decision that some group?
Somebody at the state did it.
Oh, at the state?
Yeah, the state, no, nobody.
Not at
around-
the county?
No. She's been fighting for us and saying it ain't fair. I was told that I was gonna get it to the end and everything. And she got her budget stuff and there's not a dime in there for it, so.
Is it being allocated somewhere else, to Old Fort Schools
No,
or something?
No, it's just that, because Bettsville is no longer a school, it is done did. Somebody nuked up there and that's how they're reading it. I mean, I'm not gonna let it quit, I'm gonna see if I can get with Senator Burke and Reineke and that and see what they can do anything for us. Because we was counting on that money, but it's not gonna be there anymore. And she's waiting to receive, she said, I want an email from you guys, from the state of Ohio, telling me this so that I can give it to us, so she'll give it to us to carry out.
Are you gonna refund taxpayers?
It wasn't collected, so evidently not. If there's money there for it, they will have to, sure. But I think they only go each year, you're a year behind, or whatever, but. I don't, there won't be no money coming back, I'm sure. Cause it ain't paid, it ain't charged to you yet.
I guess along the line with Tammy's question, I'm thinking, I mean, of course, this is the first any of us heard of that.
I just got it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think this through, isn't that money that's going to go somewhere? Because it is gonna be collected through the,
No, it's
No,
not,
no,
no, they're
no.
saying they're not collecting it, no,
It's done.
no, it's done.
That's neat.
They said you're over with, nothing there.
That's one no longer exists.
and where was it being collected from?
Well, the state of Ohio sends it to the county for everything that's broke down to, for the levies.
It's part of the millage that you pay in your taxes. I mean,
So theoretically, those numbers that we pay will be a little lower because we're not paying
We're
that
not
in.
gonna be paying part
Yeah.
money, yeah.
Right.
It won't be on your
We won't be
taxes.
paying that half a mil levy.
Hmm.
Thanks, Jim.
So that takes us to the next point, I guess,
Yeah.
what we're talking about, we gotta figure out what's our strategy now, to go to the voters and see what they wanna do with the park and try to figure out what we're gonna do here, because.
Well, yeah, I want the voters to see what they can do, but they gotta realize that we gotta have money too. And Julie made up for me something here, like, and this is just a hypothetical thing, if we were to like maybe join with Liberty Township or what have you, to have them in with us on the park and so forth. If you, a half a mil would generate $27,487. If it was a 1 mil, it would generate per year $54,973. But that would go to the vote for not only Bettsville and city limits, it goes all through Liberty Township.
Yeah.
If Liberty Township would agree to such a thing.
All right, well, I've got
But I
a,
mean, we're trying to think of all different ways that we can do something.
okay, the library went through the
I
school
talked to her
too.
about that too.
Okay, and-
That's only,
they did sign the paper finally after I went over there, but they're only going to charge the Liberty Township and the Bettsville people for the library. They said they are not paying dime one, Old is not paying dime
Yeah.
one. So, we gotta look at that thing too, so that will be,
Mhm.
but they did sign off.
for the library.
But Julie said, I think down the road, once, I don't know how long this levy had or whatever, but she said once it runs out, then this Tiffin Library has absorbed Oford, okay? So that's where Oford's money goes, is to the Tiffin Library. She said they would have to like redistrict somehow,
Mm.
once this is all done, so we'll have to see what happens. So.
Yeah.
Gary, have you talked with Tim Lynch already, or you're going to be talking with him about
Yeah, I'll see
such a
him.
thing?
In that, yeah, but, it's just one of the things that we can try. I don't know, and like I say, Liberty has to agree to it,
Yeah.
to get that much money out of it, and that isn't enough to run the park.
So that, the taxpayer, will it be on our property house if they go through that, or how
Sure.
are they gonna do it?
I mean, that's the way they do it.
If they would agree, yeah,
They'll have to vote on it and agree to
would
it,
have to go to a vote.
and then they have to put it on the ballot, and everybody in town,
Yeah, it would have to be
township
on
would
a
have to.
ballot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cause if we don't have the money, then the park ain't gonna be,
No,
like no
that's
Fourth
it.
of July, or,
it's
we
done,
would have not a dime coming in this year.
it's done until we figure out some other solution, so.
Back to what Joyce was talking about, are Old Fort taxpayers somehow paying toward the Tiffin Library, is that?
They get taxed through Tiffin somehow, yeah.
Cause that was somebody has to be,
Yeah.
which way they go, I
Yeah.
don't know, I mean, it's been that way for years for
Yeah.
Old Fort.
We've just
But
looked
they're
at it.
connected with it, and, but they can reverse it
They
around.
can,
if they-
yeah, but, so they're going, I don't know how they're gonna work on it, but she said she would work on it, so we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, here's a strategy, I mean, you gotta figure out what our strategy is, because if we put up to a vote, we second, try to go through Liberty Township and, or whatever, and we put someone on the ballot, if they vote it down, then basically,
They've spoken,
you're
you're
done.
done.
And then we have to figure out what our next move is, either liquidate the asset or whatever we gotta do, because we can't carry the liability, because my concern is with the water and all that stuff out there, if somebody gets in there and they drown again or something like that, then we're just totally responsible again, so, I mean, we have all this liability out there and there's no,
And I do want to bring up too, I mean, put everything out on the table that we can
Yeah.
put out.
right,
I did get it appraised from Ned Gregg Realty. The park is, as of October 13th, has fair market value of $221,075.40. That's what they appraised it.
121,000?
$221,075.40.
If you sold the park.
If we got somebody that wanted to buy it,
Well, it seems so,
someone wants
to buy it.
I don't really know real estate, I guess, but to me, that sounds awful darn low.
It's not developed, so I mean, it's not
Oh,
developed.
It's not developed, there's nothing there, and it's all rock.
and a lot of it's
$1 million
water.
in fund, why can't they use the
No.
money out of that?
No, that money's earmarked for paying for your sewer debt. That money that's in there is for sewer debt. We only have a little bit of money that we have coming to the park. That's what the majority of the community do not understand. You had that money, that fund, that money we got from the state just for the park. That's all the money we had to operate with, you know, so. And then we kept subsidizing it from the general fund, and it's the point we can't do that because, I mean, there's other things that's more important than the park.
Well, I did see like, the budget, the 2016,
Yeah.
there's like, what, estimate of like $88,000 going for interest. I mean, which, you know, I was never aware of something like that.
Didn't we
You know, like
have
on the
Julie
loan?
come in?
Yeah, that's.
Pardon me, but didn't we have Julie come in and talk to us here, late summer, early fall, and we asked all these questions then, and she says it's not possible
What's not possible?
to take money out of general fund and keep running the park.
You're gonna get in trouble. And that's the $88,000 was probably the interest that we
Yeah.
owe the government. That's the interest we're
Yeah.
paying on the loan.
Yeah, I was shocked when I was.
Well, that's why you
And
got $1
that's
million
a low
there.
interest loan.
That's a low interest loan.
Yeah. I mean, so, I mean, this is a real dilemma. I mean, I think the community needs to understand. I mean, it's really a liability for the community. We gotta figure out how we're gonna solve this problem because if you don't do anything with it, I mean, you still got to deal with either maintaining it or mowing the grass or some kind of a combination thereof, and then plus you still have to pay the insurance and stuff and all that stuff, so there's a lot of cost
You
there.
know, I think what you should do is publicize that, so everybody sees that.
Well, I think we're gonna put it out there,
understands
We're gonna have to put it out there.
Yeah, we're letting the
I mean,
people, gonna let the people vote on
And that's
it.
why we've been talking about this.
That's what we've been talking about for the last 6
Yeah,
months.
that, I was shocked when I seen that.
Well, here's the thing, when you go in and start talking to Liberty Township, which is mainly farmers,
Yep. That's what-
okay, they're gonna look at that millage, and if they agree, I'm just make a comment that maybe they're probably gonna say, maybe we'll go half a mil, I don't think they'll jump on a mill.
Well, I think there's gonna be a reservation there, because when I
We
talked.
don't know until we ask.
Well, I had talked to Tim specifically about that when I went up and talked about the park and stuff, last meeting out in the township. And their concern was they was already paying the $500,000 already for the park services, and they weren't getting any, because they're saying basically we didn't have swimming and stuff there, so, I mean, he was kind of negative about the whole thing at that point in time, so it's gonna be hard to get them to get on board, that's my concern, so. So we can present it to them and see where we go, but,
Yeah,
So there's a chance that Liberty Township's gonna say, we don't own part of this.
right,
Okay, so, and I'm almost positive you're not gonna pass a 1 mil in town all by itself.
right.
It wouldn't, that wouldn't generate enough to.
Even
do
1
anything.
mil throughout the
Wouldn't generate
township
enough.
is not enough.
No, not really,
So,
You're
I mean,
still
we're talking
16
about
grand
mowing grass
short.
maybe,
Yeah,
so.
you know, 'cause we have no money then at all to mow or do anything with. I mean, that was quite a blow.
and actually.
I was up in her office for a
I
while.
was surprised that appraisal come back that high for that piece of ground for what it is, because
It's all rock.
it's all rock, and so it's not a commercial thing unless you have a lot of money to build something in there. I mean, because right now it's just a piece of rock.
Yeah, if somebody wanted to
and
build it
then a
for
liability.
campground or
Yeah.
do something with it, that's fine too. But just so you would know, here's for a $500,000 levy for that. On a $50,000 house, taxes would be $8.75.
A half or a year.
No, that says for a year. and 75,000 would be 1313. $100,000 house, 1750. $125,000 house is 2188, and then it goes on up, but we don't have any big ones like that. But like $100,000 house, 1750 tax per year. So you would just pretty much double that if you want for the
Doesn't sound
May.
like much around
But
here,
there's
but
a
the
lot of those-
farmers are, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, farm,
that's
farm,
not-
you know, that they
I'm
would have to pay on, and they just,
We
they're just
don't
gonna say
know,
no.
but I'm absolutely convinced that they.
I don't know,
they
they're
would
pretty,
Do it, I don't wanna be a naysayer, I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
but they're pretty
Yeah, if
enclosed.
anybody's got
Liberty
any-
Township is pretty enclosed.
we don't have a real good history of passing taxes in
No.
town.
Nope, we don't.
Could I bother you to see that one underneath there? Is that the one that Julie sent you?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
So I guess what should be our next move? Should we go ahead and put some to the community and have them kind of tell us what they want to try to
I
do?
think we
Yeah.
let the community decide, this is what we're gonna do, this is our options, just like we just talked about
Thanks.
right now.
Yeah.
Do you support running a park, and if so, this is what you can expect if you do. We're not promising everything's gonna go back the way it was, because it's not.
No.
But this is the way, what we can promise you. Put it on the ballot and let them speak their mind. And we'll go from there. I mean, what else you do? There's nothing you do until you do that.
So Rick, what do we have to do to put out on the ballot? What is our next move here so we can do this?
Well, it sounds like what we're talking about is having a park district between Liberty Township and ourselves.
Well, that, if Liberty would do that, but I mean,
But if not, we just
Well-
need the town, right?
yeah.
I mean, I can always draft a ballot just for Bettsville itself, if that's what you want. You give me the millage rate and everything else.
Or it'd have to be so high to make anything happen, because,
Well, I think the first move is we probably talk to Tim or the trustees, and then figure out what their view is on it. Because if we can't get buy-in from them, then we're gonna have to look at it just as a village.
But if, you know,
Right.
one of the things is out there, if you're looking at that, you may be looking at lower millage, but bringing in more money if you get
Right.
the township involved.
Right.
oh, that's what, those figures they give you is what each mill, the half
Right.
mill or the whole mill, that was with all Liberty and Bettsville.
So if they want a township, a park district, we can go that route. If not, I can deal with a levy here just for Bettsville, but, you know, we can.
When would that have to be done? Before
We
May
would,
or before?
well, the next election is the Ides of March, March
Is it-
15th.
Oh geez, that doesn't give us much
And,
time, does it?
So we'd be, actually, no, we can't do it then.
Yeah,
It's too late, so it would be November
Yeah.
during the presidential election.
yeah.
Would you think that maybe, what we should maybe do is just do a survey first, or saying,
Yeah, I
okay, these
think
are our
that-
options, and go out there, okay? Before we get too far in this, we gotta kind of figure out what people wanna do, because we have to say, well, you know, we're not gonna have enough money to go swimming and all that stuff. Do you wanna save the park as a, you know, or whatever, and this is what it's gonna cost, or then we
This is
figure out how we
what
get
we
there.
can do for you, if this passes,
Yeah.
is it worth you voting for?
Right.
And that's it.
I think that's all we
And
can do.
also talk to, like, the county parks district and stuff like that. They would maybe take it over, but they don't want, there would never be no swimming or something. They
Right.
could do like their other parks and have the wildlife
Yeah.
Right.
and all that, and
Yeah.
like growth and that. But,
Well, they aren't making money either.
I talked to somebody
park
in the
district,
county,
yeah.
before the holidays about the park service. And it was just his opinion, but they are economically not doing well. in-
They aren't?
in Senate
He
County.
said so,
Right.
but they're,
They're not looking to take on a
More responsibility.
responsibility.
I talked to the guy too.
Yeah, that's my
He
take as
said they're
well.
making this enough to pay for the mowing and stuff.
you know, most everything's
Yeah.
volunteer with them.
But I just think it's important that we get this out in public, so everybody understands this, we're not hiding nothing.
No.
I mean, it's reality, and now that we lost this resource coming in, you know, we're there.
I don't think anybody sitting at this table's got an answer. That's the reason why we wanna ask the public, what do you want us to do?
You know, what do you want us to do?
Yeah, we'll follow your lead, but this is what you're gonna get if we go that route.
Do we have a ballpark, just a rough idea of what the liability insurance is per year? That's, like you said, that's one of the highest priorities.
That's high priority, because I mean, you got the, because,
You gotta carry
We
a
had
couple
seconds that
million.
he
They've
gave
gotta
us.
carry
he
it
told us what it
regardless
was,
of whether
but
or not it's
you've got the park or not, whether you're just
Yeah, we know that.
liability for town.
Well, we understand that, but what the point being is, we gotta figure out what the community wants to do, because the issue comes down to, if the community does not wanna support it, then it's basically we're gonna have to liquidate the asset and try to get rid of the liability, because it's,
What I'm saying is liability as far as under insurance.
well, but you're still.
You guys pay that regardless whether you have a park out there or we don't.
No, there's a cost for that park.
There's a cost.
There's a huge cost for that insurance to cover that
What
park.
is that cost?
Yeah, that's
For
what I was wondering, do we have a ballpark
Yeah,
idea?
we have to look at the insurance, I don't remember the number in my head,
Yeah.
but there's a cost, it's just like,
Secretary was in here, he
yeah,
told us.
I mean,
We went over
there's so
all
much
that.
for buildings, and I mean, it's all, it's like your own
Right.
home, so.
I understand that.
So we just have to figure out what that cost is, but it's a large number, it's more than, I don't have it on top of my head, but I have to go back and look it up and,
I mean, I'm just wondering, is it 5,000 a year, 10, 20,000 a year?
I think it seems around 20-some thousand a
I
year,
think
isn't
in
it?
the 2016,
Wasn't it?
the last
Remember it was-
meeting you had the
We have to look it up
cost.
and see what the number was, but I know it's more than you think it
And
is.
you had for 2016, and you put it high. The 2016 expenditure, it said it cost $29,000, almost $30,000 a year to run that park.
No, it's cost more than that.
No, it costs us about $80,000 to
Well,
run
I
the
mean,
park.
that was just a rough figure.
That was just a little
Thirty
grass
ain't
and
even
stuff.
I
close.
think we talked about it the last year, we actually were functioning, because we had to transfer about $6,000
Right.
to make up the difference. I think it was right around 74 to 76,000. So even if Liberty came in with us and we got the whole 1 mil, we're still gonna be about $20,000 short going back to the way it was.
Right,
And that's not even counting for inflation.
that's what it was.
So the main expenditure out there would be for liability.
Well, sure it is.
Our main expenditure
is lifeguards and all that.
Lifeguards.
You gotta have so
It's
many of
terrible.
them for our beach area.
See, we had a person die out there once, and they said, well, you have, for how many people you have on a beach, you have to have this many licensed lifeguards on duty. And none of them work for free. I think we were paying them when they closed $12 an hour for each one of them,
That was what we just did for the,
just for the fourth.
the others we paid them like minimum wage and then they went up. But that's neither here nor there, but.
But I'm just saying, we had to, our payrolls are based
Yeah, well, here, I got it down there. Okay, this, enough with that, we will get out with the public and
Dude.
take comments and what have you.
I guess I'll just throw this out there. One thought in my head is, would it make sense to pay the liability for 1 year and not rush into anything this year? Maybe by the end of the year, have something decided. But if I get the impression we're trying to make a decision after we contact the public, like we're gonna make a decision by
No,
Well,
mid-December.
we can't do anything till November for them to even vote on it.
Right, and we're gonna have to cover that,
We
with
gotta
insurance to resolve it.
cover it until then, which is almost a year,
And then,
Insurance is due in April,
April,
Yeah.
yeah.
so it gets paid from April to April.
Yeah.
That's for the whole village, is it not?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's a blanket, it's a blanket,
Yeah.
and once it
But you
passes.
still break it
you
down.
gotta break it down. I mean, if you're looking here, I mean, I'm just looking through, I was trying to find the number here, but I don't have it right now, so. I mean, the personal property tells you like what each one of the buildings worth and what it's
Right.
insured for and all that.
But
stuff,
I'm just
so-
saying, it's gonna be
And
paid
your
for another year and a half
vehicles
anyhow. You have to
and-
have.
Yeah.
Accidental and all that.
You know, it's not like we're gonna sell
What
it
is,
tomorrow.
what is the expenditures for?
Well,
Just
we're
strictly
not gonna go to all that tonight. I
Yeah,
mean, we
we're-
don't have it in front of
Yeah,
us
we have to
tonight.
research it,
so-
because I don't have it.
I mean, we have to, if you want figures, well, we can get them for you, but we're not gonna go check them out tonight. I mean, we're just throwing things out there for you guys to think about. And see which way it goes. Scott, zoning,
No, there's no zoning issue right now that I'm aware of.
okay. Old business. This will be the second reading ordinance 2015-14, public records policy. So we have one more reading then next month to finish it off. Next thing we got on our old business is Joe Patuto. We talked about, he was there last meeting and wanted us to decide to vacate that sewer tap for him. We talked about it and that, but we never made no decision. So we need you guys' decision tonight.
It has to be in a motion for
Yeah, I'd make a motion, yeah.
I'll make a motion to vacate the sewer tap, so we're consistent with what we've been doing with the rest of the people in the community.
Okay.
What does that mean?
That means once he takes it out, the sewer tap goes away, and he has to put it back in, and it's gonna cost him $15,000 to put it back in.
Oh, if they take it out?
Yeah,
So we're gonna
yeah,
vacate
because he tore the trailer out of there.
Trailer out of there, so-
That's
Oh,
the that's the one we're vacating.
Yeah.
it. So he's paying the monthly fee for nothing
Yeah,
being
yeah, I
there,
know.
so he must
Yep.
vacate it.
Okay.
Do we
I'll
have a
second.
Scott,
Yes?
Rob,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Stan,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
I haven't found the grounded stuff. I haven't found the folders.
We still got a few more to pick up on the, income survey. We had 60, we was short 65. We've got another 17 now, so we're about 48 short that we can get done in the next couple of weeks. We'll be okay.
It's just 3 streets, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, Union, David, and,
Yeah,
State.
yeah, East State.
And I mean, that's important, so we can get grant money and stuff, that's what it's all about, so I just want the public to understand that, that's how we get money to, you know, repair roads or whatever, so. That's why we gotta get people to engage in that.
Sewer tap?
No, the income survey,
Send him to.
yeah.
Gary,
Income
did you guys
surveys.
get an extension on yours?
Yes.
I was gonna say, cause Republic did not, they have to wait till next
We
week.
did because of the funeral and everything going on. We was getting pretty close, and she said she'd give us 2 more days.
Okay,
But it isn't something they normally do, but
right.
I wouldn't probably, if you couldn't, put it in the paper.
No, you don't want it in the paper.
Just stir up a hornet's nest.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else under old business?
I wanna ask you a question, this goes years ago, with the sidewalks in town, I was looking uptown, the sidewalks are cracking uneven. And I remember they had a thing where they went around and people were supposed to correct their sidewalks. And it's like slid by, but the stuff uptown, you're walking, you can see the cracks. And there is one person in town here that rides whatever it is, because that's how he travels.
Is hovercraft?
Yeah, that's what, yeah, I can't think of the name.
Yeah, I know who we talking about.
But I'm
yeah.
just saying, something like that with the sidewalks uptown, they're uneven, and I think that the owner should be, supposed to be fixing those. And nobody has went through to make sure the sidewalks are all correct.
Okay. Yeah, we'll check into that, but this is the kind of comments we want, at public comments, because there's not supposed to be any other comments made once we get into our business. I mean, you can talk with some information, but that's what public comments for. What you have to bring it up when I ask for public comment.
Oh, I thought it was under old business, so,
No, the old business is ours here.
well, I didn't know.
Okay.
Maybe under old business, last month we had that executive session. If we're gonna address this ordinance 2016-01, is that something we're gonna address tonight? I don't see it on the agenda.
Rick brought it up.
Oh.
So,
Okay. I didn't know if we were gonna address that tonight or not. I guess my question was, I can't really say much about it because it was from executive session, but it seems to be something that we need to discuss in conjunction with that.
okay.
That's all I had.
Okay. Okay, we'll go on to new business. We didn't have a magistrate report, I don't think. Okay,
Say what?
we don't have a magistrate report on there.
There were no contested cases in
Okay.
December.
Okay. Okay, the next thing that's on here is the JLB Joint Ambulance District what I got on here is what we are asking for out of Betsville is, we're writing this letter to ask for an extension on the EMS housing bill that is currently due for 2015. This EMS housing money will be paid as soon as our funds become available. This should be no longer than June 30th. Thank you for your consideration. And what we're asking for is, our levy passed good, but we haven't got any money yet. And as soon as we get the money, then we're gonna pay it, if it's okay. I mean, we don't have any other source, but we would appreciate your help with that, and I don't think we're in dire straits that we can't afford not to do that. Cause the ambulance is still housed here, and it's gonna be coming along pretty good once we start getting our levy money, and that we won't be hurting for anything.
So what kind of money are we talking about? I mean,
It's $2,000.
$2,000,
Yeah, it's
so we
what we get paid for the housing and the ambulance over there.
Yeah, that is just to house the squad.
Right,
Yeah,
What we do over there for them is what we do for them
Right.
as a village. That money is just to house that truck.
right,
So even if you guys decided you were gonna deny it, the heat's still gotta be on out there for
Right.
the other trucks.
Right, right.
I mean,
yeah, so they're asking for our blessings at Ag, so
yeah,
that's what we're talking
that
about
we
here.
can pay a little later down the road
Yeah.
instead of right now, when we
Yeah,
start
that's
getting our money.
That's fine.
It could be April, it could be latest June, so. But we appreciate everybody voting it in and that, and that's good. And I would need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Joyce?
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron?
Yep.
Scott?
Yes,
Stan?
Yes.
Bill?
yes,
Okay, Angela, you wanna do that Rita Quarterly thing?
Just a minute, Ruth. Just a second. What'd you say, Gary?
That quarterly report thing for Rita?
At the last meeting, Joyce, you asked me to get a hold of Rita and ask about village residents being able to pay quarterly or not. And I sent them an email. And they said for the tax year 2016 forward, the law only requires individuals to make quarterly estimated payments if the annual estimate is $200 or more. Only those required to make estimated payments will be penalized for failure to do so. However, a taxpayer can still make quarterly estimated payments if they want to, even if the estimate is below $200. The due dates are April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and December 15th. So I emailed her back and asked her how they'd go about to do that, and she said they would, just contact them and they can set up quarterly payments, estimated payments. So I would just suggest to have anyone that wants to do quarterly call Rita.
so I think we're gonna have to get information to the people, cause there's some confusion there, right?
There's some confusion.
So,
Because you can, it's just they don't send a bill out unless it's
I
more
guess,
than 200.
is that something that Rita can do for us? Can they send, to our village,
like a mass mailing.
a mass mailing or something? Cause the problem is you got this Rita thing, but there's people moving in and out, and they get confused what they're responsible for.
Well,
and
we can do that, like we could type something up and do that ourselves.
Maybe we should, so,
When I do a bulk mailing for, the water, it's like $68.
yeah. Well, Rick, is that the right way to do it? I mean, I'm gonna make sure we're doing it the right way so that the people in the village understand how to pay the Rita tax and what their options are and stuff like that, so they don't want people
You
getting.
can inform them as you like. I mean, we just can't put it in a sewer or water bill, but,
So we can send it
Send
like,
out separate.
separate.
Those are
Right.
postcard anyhow, they'd have to be
Yeah.
separate.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, but you can notify them and say that these are the Rita rules.
yeah, I think we need to do that, because it sounds like there's a lot of confusion in the village, from what I'm hearing, and I think that, people just,
I would include Rita's address and phone number as well.
yeah, I think we need to do that, because
We can do that.
I think that'd be the smart thing to do. So, do we need a motion or anything to do anything like that, or?
If
It's
you wanna
only
spend-
$70, it's,
uh,
But I think it's something that we need to put together and get it out there.
Yeah, just a courtesy.
And again, put the dates and stuff on there so they know what their quarterly payments would be and how they file and all that stuff, so they know what they gotta do.
Well, I was gonna bring up about that, the one from Jim, about he paid the Rita taxes, was like $700 and some, right? And they lost his check. And then, but they never contacted him until 7 months later, and then charged him $140 penalty that he didn't pay. You know, they cashed Tyler's, he paid Tyler's too, they cashed his check, you know, but then, and he is really irate. And then there's another lady that they nailed her for like $4,000, and she's making payment, anyway, she's a single person, and I mean, it's really, you know, and really a burden for her, and she's got it down to like $2,000 right now, you know, but, you know, she had no idea that, you know, some of this stuff was, you know, so I think it isn't explained a lot to some people, you know, so.
So we gotta probably keep doing
That's
this.
what, you know, I mean, if we're gonna pay them, they should at least be courteous enough to let everybody know, like you said, the rules are and everything, because there's so many different things going on here. So, okay. We got over $250,000 worth of.
Okay, so we'll take care of that, then
Just
we'll
equipment and buildings and stuff.
get something out to the people.
Yeah, I think that that's the right thing to do.
And I have a letter here from Rita, News Alert. Important notice of data security incident. Dear Rita member, we are writing to you to inform you of a potential data security incident that may affect you and your resident taxpayers. We value our relationship with you and want to make sure we are handling this event in a manner that addresses any concerns you may have. On November 10th, 2015, while preparing to destroy a limited number of DVDs used as part of our previous backup system, we discovered that one of the DVD cases was empty and the DVD was missing. We immediately began an investigation, and on November 17th, 2015, determined that the missing DVD most likely contained backup copies of income tax documents submitted on or before June 2012. Unfortunately, these documents include taxpayers' names, addresses, social security numbers, and possibly date of birth. If the taxpayer included financial information with their municipal income tax document, this data may also have been contained on the DVD. We conducted a thorough investigation to try and locate the DVD. We carefully searched our facility, and at our request, our third-party off-site storage vendor searched its facility twice for the DVD, but has been unable to locate it. From our investigation, we believe the DVD was most likely destroyed in accordance with our process for unlabeled DVDs. If an unlabeled DVD is found, it is shredded and destroyed. However, out of an abundance of caution, we are communicating with taxpayers about this incident and offering them credit monitoring and identity theft protection services through Experian. Approximately 50,000 individuals representing less than 2% of the tax accounts handled by Rita will be receiving this communication, which may affect your residents. As part of Rita's continuing efforts to improve security, we implemented a more secure process for backing up this type of data. This new process was already in place before we discovered a DVD missing. You may receive calls from your resident taxpayers about this event. To assist you with any inquiries, we have prepared frequently asked questions for your use. Additionally, a call center has been established for resident taxpayers who wish to obtain more information about this event. The number for the call center is provided in the frequently asked questions section below. We take the security of the information in our possession very seriously and want to make sure we are addressing this event in a manner that enhances your confidence in Rita. You can contact member services at 1-866 252-0913 for more information. We'll have that up on our website. And some of the frequently asked questions, I received a letter from the Regional Income Tax Agency. Is the information in this letter true? And yes, the information in the letter is true. There is a toll-free number provided in the letter if you would like more information. Rita has arranged for dedicated call center agents to be available to answer your questions. Number 2 is, do you have any information about the Rita security incident? The best place to obtain information about this event is by visiting Rita's website at www.ritaohio.com or calling 866-940-3613, which is a toll-free number. Dedicated call center agents are available to answer your questions. And how can I obtain more information about the Rita security incident? You can visit Rita's website, at the one I just mentioned, for more information, or you can call the toll-free number, which I just gave you, and dedicated call center agents will be able to answer your questions. Note, if the caller is very upset or concerned, please take their contact information, provide it to your member service representative, and someone from Rita will contact that individual directly. If the caller is a media representative, please have them direct their inquiry to the media@ritaohio.com. What is the toll-free number? The toll-free number is 866-940-3613. And what are you doing in response to this event? We are working with Rita to ensure that your information is secure. The missing DVD was used to back up some Rita systems. Even before this event occurred, Rita had already implemented a more secure process for backing up the system that no longer requires the use of DVDs.
Yeah. These are just for.
Any questions on that? We'll have it posted on our website. Before we go to the next one, I need a motion to nominate somebody as president council. We have to do that.
If I may, I'll nominate Scott Harrison as council president for 2016.
Is there any other nominations? Okay, we'll have to do a motion on
I'll make a motion.
that. Okay.
I'll second.
Do we have to abstain?
Was that you, Stan?
Yeah.
Rob?
Yes.
Stan?
Yeah. Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Bill?
Yes.
Do I do Scott too?
I can do myself,
It's
right?
up to Scott.
Yeah, I can do myself.
Sure he said yes.
Like he needs the grief.
Need more grief, yeah, that's fine.
Committee assignments the same. Committee assignments the same.
Brandon, do you know, is there an anticipated date when the website will be up? Even a ballpark guess?
I would
Month?
say, what is it, January? I'd say probably by April 1st, hopefully. It's gonna be a while. I've taken on some new responsibilities, so
Okay.
it's been kind of very busy.
So it'll be April before people will see any of the,
No, I'll put it on our Facebook page,
oh,
which, as you stated, most people look at anyway. So I think it's a good, better way to get out information, quick information.
yeah.
also have on here. Oh, I forgot to put that on there. But this, Northwest Ohio Mayor's, membership dues. It's $100, you voted that, let me have it last year, so I'm asking if you let me be a member of this. Pay the $100 for the dues.
I'll make the motion.
Are there regular meetings or anything, or what?
Yeah, they have meetings, yes,
It's like a conference of the mayors and look at.
yeah.
I made a motion, Angie.
I'll second. Bill?
Bill? Joyce?
Yeah.
Bill?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I haven't heard any more from Jim other than he still wants the jaws, but, to replace those jaws. And what I got from him when I was talking to him was that it's the same type jaws that they work with now, it's the same brand and everything. But I'm getting that, he wants them, and I don't know, but I would think somebody would come, but I thought I'm gonna bring it up again.
I thought the issue
I
was.
thought it was
I thought
settled.
that he had a certain amount of money that he could spend on it, and he didn't buy all the components, and then buy what he needed
Well, I
right now.
think
to make it work.
he's got the money to do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I thought we agreed that he had
We
enough.
already talked about it.
Yeah, and we gave him okay to get everything, what money he had, because there were some other options that he wanted that he couldn't quite afford yet, but that was maybe in the next year to get those things, or
Mhm.
whatever,
His budget.
yeah.
Yeah,
Not his
and,
budget.
well, and he said he's got the money to pay for
Well,
Yeah.
then why,
I guess that's why I'm
it.
confused.
Well, because he turned it over to Mike Snell,
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah.
And Mike's supposed to, that, and the way that I'm understanding that, they want some other, they wanna look at some other jaws, not just that kind, maybe there's a better kind out there. But John, didn't you, when we talked to Mike, he said he would, the officers would like to really have some more demonstrations rather than buying it without.
Jaws of Life.
Yeah. That's,
So, but Jim's pretty adamant he still wants these and that, and it is the same brand that they got now.
well, isn't it between him and his department,
Yeah.
what they need?
Yeah,
We already gave him permission to buy them and
Yeah.
everything, so shouldn't it be between them?
Yeah,
Or is he
well-
telling you that you gotta make the decision?
No, I don't have.
no, he's
Yeah.
telling his officers this is what he wants, and the officers aren't on board with what he wants.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And that was part of you guys' deal years ago to put that $5,000 cap on it.
right,
Yeah,
So he's got his officers on board with
yeah,
right,
Well, they're not on board.
okay.
okay, so it's between.
So I think that we need to have a meeting with him and have it resolved right there, right? It's not, I mean, we give him an okay to move forward, but if he wants something that they don't want, then we gotta have a resolution there somehow. So, we're gonna have a meeting with them and try to resolve it face to face
Get
with
with
them,
the
right?
chief and the officers and have a meeting with all
I
of
think
them.
that's what we're gonna have to do, you know, it's just,
Okay.
say that this is your options and, and what does the majority wanna do here? You know?
The idea I got from a couple of the officers was they had an idea where they'd rather have the money spent other than on that, so.
Okay, so I think,
But is it the chief's call? I mean, is that part of the chief's duties? He makes that decision, and if they don't like it, he's the chief? And it doesn't work that way?
Doesn't-
I don't know.
You also gotta remember, Stan, that they're all volunteers,
Right.
and if he's gonna say this is the way it's gonna be, they can tell him to go to hell and
Sure.
just all quit, and then we have nobody. So,
Right.
you know, I don't
Well,
think they
then,
have to work.
who makes the decision, I guess is my question.
They have to work together.
Who makes the decision
On what they purchase or if they can purchase?
what they purchase?
That should be up to the association of the fire department, what they feel they need.
I mean, we have money that we appropriated, that money's there that he can spend,
Right,
and we give him an okay to spend up this amount of money, because he had money in his budget to spend.
but he wants to spend it one
Yeah.
way, and they wanna spend it another way.
Well, I think that was where the conflict was, that, you know, that it's one way and only one way. We wanna have a more balanced approach so that they can have input, because they might feel that they'd rather do something else and do more good. So I think that's,
We approved spending money on, for a Jaws of Life.
Yeah.
And if it's a difference of what brand, okay, we can discuss that, but we didn't say that, okay, there's amount of money you're gonna spend on Jaws of Life, but you can spend it on a new tractor.
right.
Okay, no, I understand.
That's the impression I'm
I
getting.
mean, that's.
No, and I understand that completely. There's an update that they would like to do to the grass truck, okay? So that people don't have to ride on the back of it. There's a turret that you can purchase for the front of it to spray water, rather than having guys standing on a tailboard while you're driving through a plowed field. Okay, that was discussed last year at this time.
Okay.
And then a month down the road, Jim comes up with the idea for Jaws, and their idea is out.
We're gonna have to have a meeting.
We gotta have a meeting to resolve this, because that's what the issue comes down to.
So,
So we need to set up a meeting.
regardless, when we did the appropriations,
Yeah.
we appropriated enough in his fire levy fund, since they didn't spend any money
Right.
last year, to cover the full amount of the Jaws hardware,
Right,
which was approved. So he wouldn't have to touch his operations budget if that's what they end up purchasing. But the problem is the Jaws that he was having demonstrated, that guy would only come here if he was leaving with a check. So even though he's coming up here to do a demonstration,
yeah,
he's fully under the assumption he's leaving here with a check. So the rest of the guys are not on board with that,
right.
because basically you're tied. If he drives 4 hours to come here, he's leaving his equipment and leaving with a check. And Jim knew that.
Okay, I think the bigger issue is, and we can't get into too much because it was covered by executive session,
All right,
but we had some issues last year where I was under the assumption that their organization was gonna be, they were gonna collaborate more,
right.
their hierarchy. Not necessarily the rank and file, but the hierarchy was gonna collaborate. And it sounds to me like maybe that's not happening,
Yeah.
or it regressed. So we need to revisit that, it sounds like.
Yeah, we need to get more room to get this thing hammered out.
So I think that's the bigger issue in this, so, sounds like we still have some tweaking to do.
Agree. So I think that's a move. So Gary, is that something you wanna set up then?
Yeah.
They can only get together on Sunday, right?
I don't know, we'll see what.
Okay.
Their association meeting was postponed till this coming Sunday.
Okay,
They
so
were
we
supposed to have it this past Sunday, so they actually have one this coming Sunday night.
But whatever it is, that's what we'll have to do.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta get this nipped in the bud.
Because that fire department's too important to this village. It affects every person living in this town. And their wallets.
Very important.
So how is that handled? Is that handled like an executive session where we can have it, or is that a public, how is that handled when you do something like that? So I have to
Talking
make sure we do it
about
right.
discussing Jaws of Life versus.
Well-
the
No,
other-
going to their meeting and
Talk
talking
about the meeting and
about
talk about the conflicts and stuff, trying to resolve those issues.
Because there would be 3 or more council persons at that
Yeah.
same meeting.
Well, I think it's an open meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why we need to make sure that we do it right. So if we gotta set it up and it's gonna be an open meeting, it's gonna be an open meeting. I just wanna make sure that we do it right, so we're not,
Or is it just the fire committee?
I would think just the fire committee would take care of it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what they're there for.
And so the
If
whole
Steve,
town council
Steve's
would-
gotta be made aware.
Yeah. I think you're in that too, aren't you?
We're gonna have to make a special meeting.
needs to be dealt with, so.
Okay. Well, we can go into executive session later here when we go. Anyhow, so, but I do have, need you guys to, this is the Department of Commerce, Division of State Fire Marshal, Volunteer Firefighters Dependents Fund, 2016 certificate of annual election of board members. And the ones that we had on there last year, we had Joyce and Bill, on that, and Cliff. And then Jim and Mike Snell. So we need the approval for these names. Jim was on it, Mike Snell was on it, and that's the only other two.
What's the name of that, Gary?
It's the Volunteer Firefighters Dependents Fund.
It's not, if somebody one of the fires gets hurt or gets killed, it's,
Yeah.
So if you agree with these names, I need them so Jim can send us in.
So you need a motion then. Is that what you're saying? I'll make a motion to accept them.
Sure.
Scott,
Yes?
Rob,
Yes.
Joyce,
yeah.
Stan,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Okay, Rick, you want to talk about the property that 75 feet we was talking about?
We had a letter from Basic on July 6, 2011. They're held by a parent company, but we're still thinking of it as Basic. And it still is. Back then, they said, gee, they can't sell or donate the property that we wanted in question because it was undergoing environmental remediation. Okay, that was signed by Donnell Jackson. They were out in Norwalk, Connecticut at the time. He's got a sub-office in Hartford. They moved their headquarters down to North Carolina, but Donnell is still there. And I faxed him the copy of this letter. He said, it's still under environmental remediation. So at no point, and he continued to talk to me even though I was an attorney. He said, well, you're an attorney, I gotta have the attorney on. But we got through a lot. He said, we can't transfer the property to you either in part or in whole because there'd be too much liability transferring a property under environmental remediation. He said, but, you know, as far as they're concerned, they'd like to be a part of the village. I said, great. You know, so, you know, that's what the real goal is to connect that property to the park property. And so I said, that's wonderful, because then all we need to do, because I know Gary's been talking to the township, and their issues seem, you know, minimal, and nothing that we can't oblige them to. All we have to do then is reach an agreement with the township, put it in writing pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code, and then we have an agreed upon situation with everybody, which is easy peasy for annexation.
Okay.
Versus any type of contested annexation is very expensive.
Right.
Okay, but you know, so it just is something where we should probably get together with the township on, while we're talking about everything else, and address any of their concerns. Get also together with the county prosecutor who would advise them, and I have to get together with her this month anyways about a number of issues not related to Bettsville. And so it would just be put on the agenda. And we make sure that we please the trustees of Liberty Township, making sure they get their credit for the road taxes and stuff like that.
Right.
And it can be accomplished. So it's and even if they said they would transfer it to us, a section of it, still, it would be like buying a gas station with sunken tanks. You wouldn't want that type of liability anyways. But that's really not the issue anyways. The issue is having that section part of Bettsville so that the park can be part of Bettsville and annexation. And so long as township trustees are on board and we address any concerns. The only concern he had was he wanted to make sure he kept up his fence. They could keep up the fence and a no trespass. I said, sure. And he said, you guys, are you onerous? I said, usually we just wanna make sure the grass is mowed. But he said, well, you know, that's of course, well, you know, that's fine. So it's a positive, I wouldn't look at it as a negative at all.
Okay.
It's a positive. So it's just a matter of getting together with the township trustees. These type of agreements are out there. A lot of townships have done it with different municipalities in this county. We just make sure they're happy with it, make sure the county is happy with it, we get that done. And then basic, we do it. Now, he will have to talk to their attorneys at some point, obviously. As a matter of fact, he was saying, well, and I told him I would call him tomorrow and let him know how people felt in general. I'm trying not to talk to him as big bad solicitor or anything like that. That doesn't go anywhere. But at some point, he will have to contact their counsel, who will have to be on all the phone calls with me, which then slows things up.
Right.
But so long as this is kind of what we may want, our next step is, hey, yeah, this is what we're gonna do, we'll get this if this is what the village wants and the township wants, we'll get this agreement together over the next couple of months. And once that's done, you know, we'll send you the forms to say, hey, we'd like to be part of the village. And then we take care of the park as well.
Right.
That's a process by agreement, and it's eventually approved by the county commissioners as well. But, and some of the things, there are alternate ways. I was thinking of what the township trustees were interested in. And even if an auditor says something, you can't do something this way, we can do things also through small deeds and maybe a survey or something, whatever it takes to satisfy the trustees and to accomplish our goal, and also to make sure they're happy with their goal and don't lose money. So all's not bad.
No,
Well,
I think that's
sounds
kind of
like a
what,
better deal anyhow.
I think that's what
That's
Tim was saying.
Yeah, you
when I
always
talked
do
to
it by
him, so-
agreement if you can. So, and that's great that he's in agreement now and everything. That's wonderful.
No, I think his concern was losing linear footage, because the linear feet of the road is important to them, because that's how they get their grant money and whatever, so that's what
And
he's
if we
concerned
can't
about.
do that through an agreement, that's where I was thinking, well, maybe we could do that through a survey, through a little, deed or something,
Okay.
somewhere.
Right.
It would cost a survey, but,
Right.
We'll figure it out. If we're all in agreement, something can be done somehow.
Right.
Just the getting along part's the important part.
I think from my personal point of view, I think I'd just like to have control of that entity and get it, and double check we want it to, so that way that we have a more comfort feeling what we do as we move forward or whatever, because I'm not sure what the solution is gonna be in this park as we move forward, so that's my concern, so.
And just an aside, but just to keep it in mind, it's sort of a yes and no part of this, but they used to, their headquarters used to be in Norwalk, Connecticut, and I'm very familiar with it, so I automatically was talking to him about Merritt Parkway, and used to go.
Yeah.
And he said, well, they moved from Connecticut because of too many taxes.
Right.
They went to North Carolina, but his office is near Hartford, so, I'll update them if people are saying, yeah, this sounds like something we do, I can say, hey, this is something we're gonna work on, sounds like a good thing, because regardless, we'll have something to work with and we can offer people.
It sounds like an easier solution to me, I mean, then,
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't wanna go contest or something like this,
No.
we don't have the money for that.
well, my concern was dealing with the other property back there that, is considered contamination and all that stuff, that's my concern
Yeah,
about
we
that
don't
too,
know
so.
what's there, and I'm sure they
Right.
wouldn't wanna talk about anything, I mean,
Right.
just from a liability perspective. It may be just, hey, we gotta lift an old car out of here. I guess before in 2011, they were just lifting, some metal objects, but the EPA, how they are. We all know how the EPA is. So it's like, hey, that's fine, it's better. They're the ones who are used to dealing with it, so that's fine. Who knows, maybe there's some benefits for basic too, grant money or something, being part of a small village like this too, that could help them, so.
So do you need a blessing from the council right now, so we move forward?
I would like a blessing, but a lot of it's gonna be, you yourself are talking to the, if Tim Lyncher and the Liberty Township people are saying, yeah, this is good, why don't you guys talk also to the county prosecutor? that's fine, I kinda know what's up, and so if he says, yeah, then I can start talking to them. I would like more participation by the township in making sure they know that the county prosecutor's office knows what they want, so it's not just me knocking on the county's
So
door.
I guess we give you permission to move forward with what we do here, and then I guess we need.
And
we
let
need to go
Tim
talk
know,
to Tim.
We'll go
and,
talk to-
and
We'll
have
go talk to
Tim
Tim.
give the county a call. I get along very well, the county prosecutor's office is wonderful in this county now. So, I just, they need to hear from their quote client
Right,
also, so that I'm not just knocking
Right.
on the door in annoyance.
so that's how we started now, I guess we keep the blessing to
And
it
as soon as
now.
you do, give me a buzz, cause then I will knock on the door and say, when can we set up a meeting?
So I guess Gary and I have to go to probably the next meeting and talk to Tim a little bit, I want to see what their concerns are, at least.
Yeah, it'll be next month, 'cause they-
Next one,
And I say the
Well,
county
pretty good,
prosecutor,
this
it's
one.
his office that
Yeah.
handles it, so I'll be talking to certain people in the office, not Derek necessarily, but to people in his
Right.
office.
I understand.
Okay, you got any other questions for Rick here on that? Thank you for getting that done already. Once we got the paperwork, boy, was there. They say the township meeting's Monday, this coming Monday?
No, I think they had it last
Oh,
time.
we had it.
They have two of them, don't they? I was thinking they had two a month. I'll get hold of Tim and
Okay.
I'll find out when the next one is for sure, and I'll get with you.
Okay. So we're all in agreement with that then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, next thing we have on there is Officers Appeal. Got a letter from Melissa. Dear Mayor Harrison, please accept this letter as a formal request to have my appeal heard by Batesville Village Council on January 5th, 2016. Respectfully, Melissa Brochus. You wanna present your case, Melissa?
Does this deal with personnel, and shouldn't we do this in executive session?
I don't think, do we have to do this in executive session?
Um,
We can't make no decisions in the executive session.
yeah, we definitely cannot make a decision in executive session if it's, but since it's regarding personnel and a particular matter, here's where let me read some statute here, just so you know what's going through my mind here. Section 737.06 of the Ohio Revised Code. The chief of police shall have exclusive control of the stationing and transfer of all patrolmen, auxiliary police officers, and other officers, employees in the police department and police auxiliary unit under such general rules and regulations as the Director of Public Safety prescribes. Okay, so we don't have a Director of Public Safety, but we're a village. But it shows you the bailiwick of the chief of police. This is, from the letter, they have other things, and I'm not, I don't want people to get the wrong idea because we're not in an executive session, so I'm just gonna read part of another statute. For some matters, is how I'll put it, people can appeal to, the, Director of Public Safety regarding some issues. My only other time I had something like this occur in the village was regarding a chief, although it wasn't as severe. I mean, this was definitely not severe, whereas the other matter was. Where that was an open public meeting that the public had a right to listen to, and that was in Republic, regarding their chief of police. So I'll put it to you this way: if you want it as a formal hearing, then we would do it in opening. If you just want to present the matter in executive session, that's fine, but we can't make any decisions in executive session. And it wouldn't count as a formal hearing either. Does that make sense? And since you would be the aggrieved party seeking some sort of redress I would say the choice is yours, but you now know the parameters in which we have to hear this. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. What would you prefer? A more formal, open hearing, or just something in executive and session? But that would probably include council members, village administrator, fiscal officer, chief, and yourself, and myself. Of course, council. Which would you prefer?
I believe I would like to go with the formal, we'll do the formal hearing and go that direction.
Okay, all right, just so long as you're satisfied with that.
So we're gonna go with open.
Open.
Okay. So, go ahead, Melissa.
I talked to Brandon and we had our meeting. Brandon discussed with me what we could do next. So I took that next step. I went to Gary. I got to Gary's house and I had some papers and everything ready to discuss why I didn't feel that the punishment fit the crime. And Gary handed me a letter stating that he was going to uphold Brandon's ruling without hearing my side of the story. So I had asked, how do you make a decision based on just one side? And he said that he had contacted council and everybody had agreed to this decision.
What?
And
Oh, we discussed it, that, you asked me what, there was not, no motion or no nothing on, we just discussed it, that, you wanted to know how we came out, and I told you what we did, and that I upheld Brandon's appeal, and said that everybody was, everybody knew about it on council. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just don't feel that I was afforded the proper procedure for my hearing. Does everybody know what the definition of hearing is? So I have it from Webster's dictionary, and I just don't feel that that was afforded to me. How do you make a decision on something which you've only heard one side and you haven't heard from the other? I didn't get to state my reasons why I didn't think it was a suitable punishment, and I was not afforded that position to do so. I was afforded that with Brandon. Him and I sat and we discussed it, and then I decided to take it further. Once I took it further, I was not afforded the opportunity to present my case and my findings.
Well, we talked about it at my house, Melissa.
I would say this is a time to do that, to present your case, Melissa.
So I don't feel that the punishment fit my crime. I don't believe that, I think it was brought up that I went to Joyce and I had asked. I never went and I never said, hey, will you take this to council for me? Joyce brought it to council, nobody's denying that. I've never been written up ever, any time before, and then all of a sudden I get one, and then it's either demotion or just, resign. No, I just don't feel that it was harsh, way too harsh for what they thought I supposedly did.
Yeah, what?
No talking, you guys cannot talk, this is just for the council. Is there any,
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be. Wasn't that the procedure that is outlined, that you talk with Brandon and then you have the ability, you go from Brandon to his supervisor, who's Gary? That's what happened. You went to Brandon and talked to Brandon, and then you went and talked with Gary. I'm not sure if where the council got brought into it, but we were made aware of it, either by Joyce's information or Gary's or both. But am I wrong in thinking that the council, maybe that is another step, but I think the procedure was followed. You talk with Brandon, and then if you weren't happy with that, you go to his immediate supervisor, who's Gary, and that's exactly what happened.
And then if I wasn't happy with Gary's, I would bring it here, but when I went to Gary, I automatically got a letter. I didn't get to give my reasoning and my side of the story.
We talked about that before, though, we was talking about it before you even when you came to me that day for the appeal.
That whole meeting, Gary, was only like 15 minutes long, and it was not where I could sit down and talk. You gave me this letter stating that you were gonna uphold his decision without even hearing what I had to say first. And then when I received that, that's when I had said, how do you make a decision when you haven't even heard what I had to say? So my part in my speaking was not able to get heard because you handed me this letter already saying that you uphold this decision, even without
When you
hearing
came
me.
to me though for the appeal, then I got with Brandon, of course, and then we get a letter, but when we was talking at the house, you was saying, you told me that you was venting with Joyce, you didn't ask her to bring it to council and this. So I did what I had to do, and
That was not, it didn't follow the rule, it didn't follow the procedure as it went. We were supposed to have this meeting, this hearing, and it was not a hearing. I understand that we had said something before, but that was prior to having a hearing. This hearing was to hear out everything that I had to say. I didn't get to do that. Whether you thought that that was prior or not, I did not get to do it at the point where we discussed that we were gonna have this meeting.
Just so that I understand, are you thinking, Melissa, are you thinking that you missed out on a hearing between you and Gary, or a hearing between you and the council?
No, Gary.
So the time that he gave, the day and the time he gave you that letter, was that the first time you even talked about it at all?
no.
So it sounds like you did, I don't know if I would call it a hearing, but apparently you talked with Gary prior to that, and then the next time when you went to see Gary, that's when he gave you the letter?
Correct.
But you feel you didn't have enough time that first time you talked to him to air your side and
I
all
was
that?
not, the first time was not anything that was official, and I was not aware that that was gonna be used as part of the conversation and hearing for this. A hearing was to hear everything that I had to say at that time. I was not aware that they were going to bring in a prior conversation and use that for that hearing for that day.
And I don't know if it's written out, but when you talked with Brandon and he made his decision, and then you had the ability to go talk to Gary, which you did, does it actually say somewhere that you're supposed to have a hearing with Gary, or just a meeting? You have the ability to approach his supervisor.
Oh, it's in the ORC.
It says it's supposed to be a hearing when you talk to his
There
supervisor?
is hearing.
I don't know.
Are you looking at this, Melissa, are you looking at this now as another hearing or just an objection and you want it set for a hearing later, next council meeting, or are you looking to do this now?
I was under the impression that when I told Gary that I wanted to present my case to council, that would be the council hearing. I was not.
Are you looking for that today or on another occasion? Because you're just,
It would, another occasion, so I can gather, I have audio, I have other things. I was not aware.
I would indicate then, maybe we should just agree that the next meeting of council can be that hearing where you can prepare. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Yes? Anybody object?
No, I think she needs to present all her facts, I have no problem with that.
And so, you know, you're requesting a continuance of this in order to coordinate with Marvin. So, and the mayor will be here, and council. Okay.
Can I ask, is that how the procedure's spelled out? Initially, you talk to your supervisor, you did that. If you wanted to, you could talk to his supervisor, you did that. And then if a complainant is not happy with that, then you can go before council. Is that how the procedure is spelled out?
Right.
And then what if you're not happy with what council says? Is that the end of it?
Council has final words.
I see, okay. At least I understand a little better now.
That's how it worked in Republic, but it was more for a chief then, but we can do it this way, so long as everybody feels they've had a full hearing and due process and.
I think due process is important, I mean, I don't.
And that's fine, and then she has, cause I had a sense she wasn't ready to go for it today, that's why I was asking, so we just do it the next council meeting at the end.
You okay with that?
It's fine, thank you.
Okay, anybody got anything else to bring up? You're gonna do it.
I am, okay, so what about this, Rick?
Okay,
Do you
well,
wanna go in executive session to talk about
yeah,
it?
Well, that's what the section for that, or are you gonna do the other one first, or
what,
either one?
what evaluation?
Yeah, that one, and then the Rick.
Yeah, no, the one, we'll go into executive session for personnel, but, yeah, we can, or we'll just go for personnel. We'll go
Is
into
it
executive session.
For, in regards to solicitor, and is there something else
Well,
too?
solicitor and, Angela.
Angela, so the two issues we need to talk about, in executive, I think.
Okay,
We were in a session for two things if we name them.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what
they're
we-
both personnel,
Personnel issues.
we
so-
just need to name who's there,
Yeah.
who's not. If you want me to leave during part of it, that's fine too.
No, it's, no problem,
And you're gonna take it action, at least on Rick's?
well, they're both be taking action on, but I mean,
Alright.
it's fairly simple.
It shouldn't take too long, I guess, right?
No.
So I'll make a motion to go into executive session, is that what you wanna do then?
Mm-hmm.
You need a second?
I'll second.
Scott? Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Stan?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
With
When you guys get done with your executive session,